Here is the original scorecard that AI put together for us. And as you can see, it picked for categories 1 through 5 a score of 17 out of 25, 23 out of 25, 16 out of 20, 14 out of 15, and 13 out of 15 for a total score of 83 out of 100 points, which rated that as high quality. However, as I began to look at this number, I began to say something's not making sense, because when I compared it to the actual documents that are over on SEC.GOV Edgar website in the official filings, I found something didn't match. And let's take a look. And there are 4 key areas that I found where AI did make a mistake. And so here is our updated scorecard. And as you can see at the top there, we have Hercules Capital. And these numbers came from the original source from the SEC, which we go to this website right here, SEC.GOV Edgar website. And as you can see, we scroll down, we put our ticker symbol in right up top here, and we hit enter. And it shows up Hercules Capital. From there, we scroll down and we find all of the filings that they listed. So over here on 3/31 of 2026, that's Q1, we've got the 10Q quarterly report, which we can see right up here. And as we click on this, it opens up this page right here. And for verification, you can see that we've got the quarterly report for March 1st ended 2026. And this is the report that we were looking for, Hercules Capital. Now, as we scroll down, we begin to find that below here is our list of the table of contents. And what we're going to look for is we're going to go in to hit Command F, and up there at the top, we're going to type in net asset value. And there it populates the page right from the start. And so just for verification, we're going to scroll up and we're going to take a look and verify we've got the correct date. And we have Hercules Capital up top here. And we've got March 31st, 2026. And so as we scroll down, we can see at the bottom here is our net asset value per share. And for Q1 of 2026, we can see that we've got $11.90 up here, and for Q4 year end, December 31st, 2025, it's $12.13. And so we bring this back to the scorecard, and this is where we begin to input our data. So our current NAV we have listed as $11.90. We also have listed here for Q4 2025 year end $12.13. And I went back and did a little research, and I saw that we had $11.55 for a year ago period, March 31st of 2025. I went and pulled up 3 years ago to double check the NAV. So for the quarterly report period ended March 31st of 2023, I pulled up $10.82, as we can see listed at the bottom of this document right here. And so we bring this back to our scorecard and we begin to extract the data. So this looks like I rated this as a 12 out of 15 for stable. It has gone up over the past 3 years. From one quarter to another, it has dropped or increased. So we were looking at not perfect stability, but even. So I scored this as a 19 out of 25. And so that was for category 1. So dividend safety is a very important part of why we invest and why people think about investing for dividends in a business development company. They scored this as a 23 out of 25. And I said, this doesn't make any sense either. So here's a second mistake that I found, and I verified this when we went back and looked at the SEC.gov, and I went and looked at the distributions that were listed with the SEC. And as we can see here, we've got a base dividend of 40 cents. However, this still confused me a little bit, and as we can see, it listed that it paid on May 14th of 2026 47 cents. So I got to thinking, why does this say 47 cents was distributed, but their base was 40 cents. So I went back to the 10Q and I took a look at this. The 7 cents comes from the supplemental dividend that we see listed right here. And so as I dug a little bit further and scrolled down, I found the statement that they list, and it says here, during the 3 months ended March 31st of 2026, for income tax purposes, remember they have to pay out 90% of their profit to the investors in the form of dividends. The distributions paid of 47 cents were from ordinary spillover earnings from 2025. So this dividend looked extremely safe. So as I looked at this and thought, dividend safety, why is it a 23 out of 25? So I queried the AI and it said, good catch. This is why we love to check and make sure we verify our information by going to the SEC.GOV website. And as you can see listed here, for the NII of 48 cents, which is what they listed, a dividend that is greater than 1.10 gets an automatic 15 points. Stability, we checked the last 4 quarters in NII trend, and they've got the 10 points for that as well. So I upped the score here from 23 to 25 and corrected the BDC scorecard. Next on the list, very important to us, is credit quality and the PIK interest. It gave us a 16 out of 20. And I said, this doesn't make sense because their credit quality is so good. So I went and looked at their income statement, and we took a look at what they have for income. And as we can see here, for the 3 months ended March 31st of 2026, how do we discover their PIK interest? Well, we take a look at the entire income of $141,536,000, and we look up here for their PIK interest, and we see $12,914,000. So the way we determine the correct percentage is we divide the 141,536 into the 12,914, and that gives us a score of 9.5%. And that's what we've got listed right here. The PIK is 9.5%. So as we look at our PIK income drag, a PIK percentage of NII of less than 10% gives us the full 5 points. But we want to monitor this. The next thing that we look at is the non-accruals. How many of these loans are not paying? And this is a very important factor, especially considering that this company we're looking at works with venture capital, which traditionally don't have a lot of profit. And as you can see, we've got listed the non-accruals at 0.2%, which gives us, if it's less than 0.5, it gives us an automatic 10 points. So I said, let me take a look at this again, because as we see here, they've got a 16 out of 20. And so did AI arbitrarily take away 4 points and unduly credit this company for reduced credit? And I said, this doesn't make sense at all. So I went back to the 10Q, and as we can see right here, for March 31st, 2026, the performing percentage of loans is 99.8%. The non-accrual they list is 0.2. And this is what's filed with the SEC for their official document. So I thought, this is an absolutely outstanding number for any BDC. So I went back in and I rescored this as a 20 out of 20, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a perfect score for credit quality and PIK for category number 3. Next, we look at leverage and risk. They scored this as excellent with a 14 out of 15. I scored this, as we can see here on the BDC scorecard, as a 13 out of 15 to give a little bit of leeway here because they are a venture capital investment BDC. They have no problems with liquidity or worried about going up against the 24-month maturity wall, which is when loans can expire and then their interest rates reset. So I put no. So this company scored 13 out of 15 and did really, really good. Number 5, portfolio and fees, they scored 13 out of 15. So I went back in and took a look at what I scored, and it still didn't make sense because I had to reference back to the 10Q. So you have your first lien, anything greater than 75% is 5 points. If they've got floating rates, interest rates on 85% or greater for their loans, that's an automatic 5 points. And then for fees, they automatically score 5 points because they're internally managed, so they're not paying another company to help them manage the companies that they loan to. And so where does this 88.6 and 98% float rate come from? Well, it comes from right here. And we can see here, total senior secured first lien position, 88.6 for the period ending March 31st of 2026. And that's why I came up with 88.6 to list on their scorecard for first lien. It also shows us the float. So let's go back and reference one more time as of March 31st, 2026. And we look at the percentage here. It's listed on the left, percentage of debt bearing a floating rate, and right down in the column next to it, 98%. So that's where I came up with these numbers to list on our scorecard. So we go back and we take a look at what AI scored. They scored an 83 out of 100 and gave it high quality marks. I scored this as a 92 out of 100 or best in class. And this is an absolutely outstanding job done by Hercules in their performance for their investors and the companies that they do business with for Q1. Okay, great. I hope that you guys found this information useful. I've got more that I'm beginning to review, and I'm also beginning to take a look at reviewing a couple of the ETFs that cover multiple BDCs. I had a viewer request that, and I thought that was really interesting to come up with. And so I actually created a brand new scorecard just for the ETF BDCs. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. We'll see you soon.